Okay folks, so I'm just going to put together a variation on a very successful and famous Irish wet fly called the Gorgeous George. The hook I have in the vase is a size 10 standard heavyweight wet fly hook. I'm going to put the tag on first, and the tag that I'm going to use is a Glow-Brite Floss number 4. Now when I put my tags on, simply just bring the floss down until I'm in line with the barb of the hook. And then take a few turns of the floss down, remove the waste tag, and then I'll take another 3 turns of the floss down the end of the hook, and then I'll simply bring my floss back up until I'm in line with the barb. Now at this stage I'll just come in and throw in a whip finish, nice and tight, 2 turns of the whip finish, put it up tight, then I'll trim this away. Now you got to protect this, so you can use super glue, UV resin, varnish, whatever you like to use. I'm just going to come in and just put on a fine coat of varnish, and then once that's dry I'll put another coat on. So just let me take this out, put on a wee clip, leave it this side to dry. I'll put one in that I had done earlier, get that into the vase nice and tight. Now the thread I'm going to use to tie the fly is Uni Thread 80 in red, so I'll simply just come on, get my thread started at the end of the hook, snap on a few turns of thread, don't need to be too fussy, bring the thread down tight up against the Glow-Brite tag, remove the waste tag of the thread. Now I'm using Glow-Brite Floss number 11 for the tail, so just offer this over the back of the hook, round with a pinch and loop, a couple of turns to secure that in, and then I'll come in and trim this much the length of the body, and then I'll trim my tail to the length that I like, much the length of the body again. The rib on the fly is going to be oval gold tinsel and small. This is just a uni oval gold tinsel and small. I'll just cut a length of that off, offer that up to the hook, and then I'll simply just run my thread up, tying in these 2 materials. Now we don't need to be too fussy with the body, I just want to make sure that I've got these well secured in right the whole way up, and then I'm going to bring my thread back down in open turns. Now I'm just going to keep the whole of my tail, bring a couple of thread turns onto the tail. Now I'm going to use a traditional Irish dubbing in this colour. Now this is the colour is called a Malvern Olive. I'll just show you it. So that one there in the corner, lovely colour. So I'm just going to simply come in and dub this onto the thread. Now always remember, take your dubbing the one way. Just going to slide it up, get it started, and then just work it up the length of the body, right up to there. Now if anything's going forward, just come in and stroke it back and get your thread in front. Now the body haggle that I'm going to put on is a genetic cock saddle haggle, dyed chartreuse, nice bright colour. So I'm just going to come in, strip back the rubbish on the stem, just going to offer this up to the hook and tie it in on my side, a couple of turns going down. I'm going to fold the stem back, a couple of turns back up over the top of the stem, keeping the thread tight, break the stem of the haggle off. Now the turns down the body is always a personal preference. I like to get 2 started at the shoulder, and then take about 4 turns of the haggle down the body. Everybody has their own way to dress these flies. Now, like when I dress sparser, just cut down on the turns going down the body. Now I'm just going to keep a hold of the haggle tip. Just going to follow it around with my oval gold tinsel. Then I'm looking 4 turns of the oval gold tinsel up the body to there. Now, I think it's going forward. I'm just going to come in and stroke it back. Bring my thread round. A couple of turns, tying in the oval gold tinsel. Now I can break away the tip at this stage, and then come in and trim away the oval gold tinsel. Now I'll just come in with a wee bit of Velcro. Just give it a wee brush. Now the next haggle on the fly, or sorry, I'm going to put legs on first, apologies, and all I'm using is these pre-knitted pheasant tail legs, dyed orange. So I'm just looking 3 down either side. So just let me get 6 off here. Just going to rip them away from the stem, and then just going to come in and separate them. Now you can put on as many legs as you like. Now just going to offer these down the sides. Just hold them on the sides of the hook. Now, just going to come in with the scissors, just part them. Come around with a couple of loose turns. Now don't worry if they've moved around, just bring them back around again, and all I do is just pull these into the length that I like. Now what I tend to do is, when I'm pulling them through my finger and thumb, I can feel the first knot hitting my thumb, and I know that that'll be the right length for me. Now I'm just going to tidy those up. Just come in and trim the excess. The next haggle on the fly is going to be a nice medium, or the dark olive. Now I'm just going to want one of the nicer feathers. There's one there. I broke all my. See, there's one there. I'm just going to tie this in at the bottom, but I'm just going to take away some of the fluff at the bottom of the stem. I'm going to offer this up to the hook on my side again. A couple of tight turns going up, tying it in, back down. Now just come in and trim away the stem at this stage. Just want to tidy this up a wee bit. Bring my thread down and back up. Now the turns of haggle, it's a bit like the body, it's always a personal preference. Suppose if you're dressing these and you're facing a big wave, you want plenty of turns of haggle on your fly. Me personally, I usually only put 3 on, but like I say, it's a personal preference. It's up to each individual angler who has the confidence in fishing the fly. Anyway, just holding the stem of the haggle, just going to follow it around with my thread. Get a couple of tight turns in going down, and then I'm going to fold this back, and then tight turns of thread over the tip of the haggle. Nice and tight. Now keep your thread tight, you can break the tip away. Now the throat haggle, I'm going to put a bit of a throat haggle on, and I'm just using a guinea fowl dyed blue. So just removing the waste from the bottom. I'm just going to bring the fibres up from the stem, and then I'm just going to take a couple of pinches of the fibre, and then I'm going to tie this in underneath. Now the length of it, it's entirely up to yourself. Just come round, pinch and loop. Just bring it around, see how I'm sitting. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. So just got a few tight turns in, and then just going to come in, a nice pair of sharp scissors, just trim this away, the remainder of the dyed guinea fowl. Bring my thread down over the cut ends, tidying it up and back up. Just that one up, we check again. Okay, happy enough with that. Now, I'm going to put jungle cock on the fly. This is just a split eye at the top of one of the capes I have. So just going to come in now for this up to the hook and put the two jungle cock split eyes. Just going to split them down each side. Then come around with a couple of nice tight turns of thread. Just keeping the thread tight. Just going to see how it's sitting. I'm happy enough with that. Now I don't want to create bulk at the head, so I'm just going to come in. I want to trim away the excess of the jungle cock. Just a wee bit there. Take it away. Now, keeping the thread tight. I'm going to bring the thread to the eye and build the thread up over the cut ends of the jungle cock. Nice and tight. Now, keep your thread tight. Just simply come in there and whip finish. Just build your head up at the same time. Nice and tight. And just come in and cut away the thread. Now at this stage, just to finish off, just stick on a coat of varnish on the head. Straight the whole way right round. Now don't worry if you've got some in the eye. I'll come in and clean that out. Just a bit of wire here. It's on the spool. Let's come in and clean the eye out. So there you go, guys. Bright wee fly, but like I say, there's many variations of the Gorgeous George, but it is a really good loch style fly. So give that one a wee go, and hopefully you can catch you a few fish.